Hi, I'm Ruth from Ruth's Hemp Foods. Today we're going to make pumpkin pie because in Canada, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and for all you Americans, you get lots of time to practice it, and it's so delicious. It is a gluten-free and vegan pumpkin pie because I think that suits many, many people. It's flexible and also it's amazingly delicious. Everyone should really try it. To do this, we are going to make first the crust. The crust is made from ground nuts. I'm using a combination of almonds and hazelnuts, but you can use one, the other, or both, plus some rice flour, and again, you can use any gluten-free flour for that. As well as that, we need our coconut oil, some salt, and, needless to say, our chia. We're going to start by mixing the chia with water so it can start to get nice and thick, okay? Chia is a wonderful thing for sticking anything together. Gluten instead of the gluten in flour if you're making a gluten-free recipe, or an egg if you're making a vegan recipe. This is gluten-free, obviously vegan, and it's wonderful for sticking things together. It just needs a couple of minutes to sit in a liquid so that it gels up, and then the magic begins. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of our raw goodness chia, put it in a bowl with a 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to just stir this together briefly. Then we'll put it aside, and when we need to use it, it'll be all gelled together and thick and perfect to continue. Okay, so I've already put in 3/4 cup each of rice flour and ground hazelnuts. Here comes my 3/4 cup of ground almonds. Put the whole thing in there. And the next thing we want is some beautiful coconut butter. I'm going to take 3 tablespoons, roughly. You know, if it's not exact, it doesn't really matter. 3 tablespoons of our coconut butter and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And as you know, I love Celtic sea salt. Beautiful, mineral-rich, delicious. Them in your trusty mixer and let it go for a minute. This should now be approximately mixed. Yeah, looking good. Lastly, we're going to add in our chia water, and look how thick this is already. It's amazing. It's all kind of goopy and thick, so it's going to be perfect to keep our pie crust looking good, holding together, and we're going to put it in now. So now you have 2 choices. If you want a really nice, even pie crust, then put this mass, make it into a ball, put some saran or put it in a plastic bag, and put it in your fridge for at least an hour so it's nice and cold, then roll it out. That's the way to get the most even pie crust. But if you want to shape it a little more, or you're in a hurry, or you don't care, then just press it into your pan and shape it with your fingers. That works too, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I've dumped this into the middle, and I'm just pressing it out to the sides to make it nice and even. And by the way, I neglected to say before, and if you haven't already done so, please preheat your oven. It should be at 375. Okay, so if you haven't done it, turn it on now so it's preheated, because the next thing that's going to happen is this is going into the oven while we make the filling. Okay, I'm just going to keep pressing it out here until it's nice and I can form a little edge around it. There it is. Vegan, gluten-free pie crust ready to go in the oven at 375 for 15 minutes. So when your crust is ready, take it out of the oven and let it cool, but leave the oven on because we're going to need it shortly. Now we're going to get on to making the pumpkin pie filling. It is very delicious. You can start by using an entire pumpkin and steaming it and then mashing it. Or you can use mashed pumpkin in a can if you like. Make sure that it's only pure pumpkin, that it is not already pre-spiced and sweetened and everything. That's, you know, it's easier to do it that way. Of course, you get better quality if you're using a lovely organic pumpkin which you have steamed and mashed yourself. Take your pick. I already have my mashed pumpkin in here. You are also going to need maple syrup, or agave if you prefer, or honey if you prefer, or some kind of sweetener. I love the maple syrup in this recipe. Of course we need our chia seed, because that's the thickener, since this is a vegan recipe and we have no eggs in it. You'll also need spices. Traditionally you can use cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and ginger. If you prefer, you can buy mixed spices already pre-mixed. I like the pre-mixed, except for that it's not gingery enough, so I'm going to add some extra ginger later on. We need salt, vanilla, and I have a secret ingredient that'll make it nice and silky, rich, smooth, because it's a vegan recipe, right? And we don't have eggs or cream in it, so what are we going to use? Secret ingredient, avocado. I know you think I'm crazy who would put an avocado in a pumpkin pie, but you'll be really surprised. The spices kind of overwhelm the taste, and the texture makes it so luscious. You'll really like this. So to the mashed pumpkin, add your nice, ripe, soft avocado. If it's too hard, it won't mush up properly. That'll be a problem. So as always, when we're working with chia, we want to get it soaking in liquid so it starts to get nice and thick so that we can add it to the rest of the things. In this case, the liquid is primarily maple syrup. I'm going to pour 3/4 of a cup of maple syrup and then put in 4 tablespoons of chia. And top off anything you can there with a bit of water. You don't need too much, just like a tablespoon or so. Just, you know, extra liquid for it. I put my maple syrup chia in a larger container because I should have started with the larger container. It's easier to stir it up that way. That'll be better. Now we're going to set that aside and move on to the spices. About 3 tablespoons of pumpkin pie pre-spiced. You know, you can find any combination of cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, ginger that suits you. Out of the 3, probably 2 are cinnamon, and the other teaspoon is a combination of the others. And a tablespoon of vanilla, or more if you like. I happen to adore vanilla. A little more won't hurt. And I like to juice fresh ginger and then freeze it into these handy little cubes for recipes. If you do that, great. Otherwise, feel free to grate about a teaspoon of fresh ginger or use about half a teaspoon of ginger powder. And let's not forget our tablespoon of coconut oil. I love the coconut oil. Adds a little bit of taste, certainly a lot of texture, wonderful silky quality for our pumpkin pie. Now our chia is ready. It's nice and kind of gooey there with the maple syrup. We're going to pour all of that in. Right before we blend, let's put in a teaspoon of salt. Love the Celtic sea salt. Now we're going to blend it up and get ready to have a beautiful pie. This is where it's really important that your avocado is nice and soft, or you end up with big chunks of it, which wouldn't be so bad either, but it's nice that the texture is throughout the pie instead of just in little pockets. Okay, so then take your pie crust, put the filling in it. This is just going to be too delicious. And it should just fill it nicely pretty much. And I'm going to start to decorate it right before it goes into the oven. I'm going to decorate it with some pecans because I love those. And they're going to get nice and roasted in the oven with it. So I'm just decorating the pie with some whole pecans. This is fully unnecessary. It's just a matter of, you know, it looks prettier and it tastes good, but if you don't have any or don't feel like it, don't bother. It doesn't really matter. Here we are, ready to go in the oven. We're going to put it in at 375 for a whole 50 minutes. My pie came out so great. It's amazing. Yes, it's vegan, gluten-free pumpkin pie. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Remember to give thanks. And yum. Hey, Nikki, you want these?
Yes, please. Thank you.